Plymouth is a name that once commanded respect in the automotive space. As a division of Chrysler, Plymouth was known for delivering some of the most iconic performance vehicles of the 1960s and 70s, going toe-to-toe with Ford and Chevrolet. Among the most celebrated creations were the Plymouth Barracuda, more often called the Cuda, and the Roadrunner. But it wasn't long before Plymouth Roadrunner was forgotten. But why? Introduced in 1968, the Plymouth Roadrunner became an instant hit, being a high-performance yet affordable vehicle. From 1968 to 1972, it solidified its place in authoritative history with its high-powered engines, brash styling, and accessible price tag. However, as the 1970s progressed, strict government regulations and the oil crisis shifted the market. By 1973, muscle cars were just shadows of their former selves, including the Roadrunner, which struggled to maintain its relevance. In 1975, Plymouth released a remodeled Roadrunner built on the B-body platform. This model was made in an attempt to balance the nostalgia of the Roadrunner's performance heritage with the increasing demand of comfort and luxury. Meanwhile, the bigger C-body vehicles took after the Grand Fury design, creating a difference between full-sized and mid-sized offerings. The 1975 model was built to keep the big block V8 engine alive for one final run, offering buyers a range of options that included several high-displacement power plants. Although horsepower was no longer as impressive as it had been during the time of the Roadrunner, the efforts depicted Plymouth's commitment to maintaining the performance roots of the car. By offering engines like the optional 440 cubic inch police spec motor and the 440 cubic inch V8 engine, Plymouth ensured that the 1975 Roadrunner could still perform even with the decline of the muscle car era. The exterior design of the Roadrunner was different from the bold aesthetics of the predecessors, offering a more restrained appearance. Although the car retained some design concepts from previous models, it did not have the visual flair that it was popular. The styling was quite different from the 1975 Plymouth Fury, with minimal changes that made it difficult to differentiate between both models. Also, the front-end design was comparable to the 1975 Chevy Malibu, downplaying its unique identity. Despite its watered-down appearance, the 1975 Roadrunner did incorporate a few distinctive elements. The car retained the signature wheel arch design from the 1973-1974 models, showing a little connection to its muscle car roots. The front subframe was incorporated with rubber isolators, a subtle but effective update that helped to deal with road vibrations during driving. The 1975 Plymouth Roadrunner followed the aesthetic trends of the 1970s, with its bold exterior paint options. Buyers could select from a range of period-correct hues including shades like sassy grass green, Moulin Rouge, and lemon twist. While these colors were in tune with the decade's visual preferences, they could not entirely compensate for the car's subdued exterior design. The new front-end design seemed downgraded, lacking the vibrancy of the boldness that set the Roadrunner apart. It had a striking resemblance to the Fury's grille and the headlights, which made things worse. One of the few unique features was the center bulge of the rear trunk, which was a backdrop for a set of Roadrunner graphics that were Star Wars inspired, adding a touch of character to a plain exterior. The simplistic side stripes also gave the car a little beauty, and the absence of rear spoilers, hood scoops, or any dramatic visual elements made the 1975 Roadrunner seem more like a mid-size sedan than an actual performance car. In 1975, Roadrunner was different from the utilitarian interiors of the earlier models, focusing more on comfort and luxury, which was a reflection of the preferences of the 1970s. One of the most observable changes in the Roadrunner's interior was the seating option variety. Sporty bucket seats were designed for a more performance-oriented look and feel, appealing to drivers who wanted to feel the athleticism in their vehicles while driving. For drivers who wanted passenger space and vehicle practicality, a bench seat option was made available. Both seating types were implemented using pleated vinyl, offering a stylish finish that complemented the vehicle's exterior, allowing buyers to choose from a range of colors. A unique feature of the Roadrunner's interior was a Sundance interior scheme, which featured eye-catching patterns that extended from the seats to the door panels. The use of bright colors gave the interior a design and feel different from the subdued exterior. With regard to the exterior sound, the Roadrunner was modified with a sound deadening system, utilizing improved insulation that significantly reduced road noise while driving. The carpets were softer and had a more premium feel when stepped on both with footwear and bare feet. The Roadrunner offered a spectrum of choices with regard to the engine options. The first option was based on a 315 cubic inch V8 with 148 horsepower output. This workhorse engine was designed for fuel economy and reliability instead of performance. The second set of options were two 360 cubic inch V8 engines, with the first option producing 170 horsepower, offering a decent performance. The second option also came with a high-performance 4-barrel carburetor, delivering 220 horsepower. In addition to these engine options, three 400 cubic inch V8 options were offered, with a base variant, a mid-level variant, and a high-performance E68 code variant. The base variant generated 160 horsepower, comparable to the lower output of the 360. The mid-level variant generated 185 horsepower, and the E68 variant produced 235 horsepower, making it the most optimized option for civilian models. Another engine package was offered, tagged the Police Package. This rare 440 cubic inch V8 engine had an output of 225 horsepower, and it was strictly reserved for law enforcement. However, rumors persisted that a few civilian models received this engine through special orders. The Roadrunner also came with various transmission options. Most 1975 models were equipped with either the 904 Torque Flight automatic transmission or the 727 Torque Flight, depending on the engine. There was an optional 3-speed manual, which was only available on the base 318 engine, which limited its appeal. A huge disappointment for drivers, however, was the absence of a 4-speed manual transmission, especially drivers who wanted a more engaging experience. The Roadrunner's performance, although restricted by emissions regulations, was still able to impress in some areas. The 235 horsepower E68 Code 400 V8 was unique, with a performance capability of 0 to 60 miles an hour in 8 seconds, which was impressive for cars in that era. The quarter-mile times lingered around the 16-second range, and enthusiasts could enhance performance modifications like upgraded camshafts, shorter gear ratios, and improved intake manifolds. Braking performance was another astonishing area where the Roadrunner offered practicality. The standard setup included front disc brakes and rear drums, allowing for effective stopping during daily driving. Power brakes were made available for drivers who wanted more assurance behind the wheel, especially in situations requiring immediate stops. The market reception of the 1975 Plymouth Roadrunner was lukewarm at best, with sales falling to just around 7,000 units. This decline in sales pointed out the challenges Plymouth faced in maintaining the Roadrunner's reputation during a challenging era for American muscle cars. Compared to the high points of the late 1960s and early 1970s, when the Roadrunner was celebrated, the 1975 model seemed like a joke. One of the main reasons for the decline in popularity was a change in design philosophy. Enthusiasts were left disappointed by the car's lack of boldness. Earlier models had been manufactured with eye-catching graphics, distinctive hood scoops, and aggressive proportions, all of which screamed performance and attitude. The 1975 Roadrunner, however, adopted a more subdued appearance, blending in rather than standing out. Its resemblance to the Plymouth Fury and even other brands like the Chevy Malibu watered down its identity further, making it difficult for the car to differentiate itself in an already competitive market. The performance also played a role in its decline. While the Roadrunner still offered several engine options, including the potent 235 horsepower, 400 cubic inch V8, it could not recapture the appeal of earlier models. Stricter emissions regulations and the gas crisis of the mid-1970s forced automakers to prioritize efficiency and compliance over raw power. In 1976, the Roadrunner went through a significant transition when Plymouth moved the nameplate to the smaller F-body platform, effectively ending the B-body Roadrunner's run. This raises an intriguing question. Does the 1975 Roadrunner deserve more recognition for its role in closing the gap between the classic muscle car era and the evolving automotive niche? Or is it better left forgotten? Share your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on vintage car updates.